Stel, you all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. Can you hear me, guys? Is everything connecting well?
Can you put your mic a bit closer? It's a bit low.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. Stel, man, come on, man. Don't talk to me that you want to get relegated. I'm not having it. You can't want to get relegated.
Why not?
So you're a Tottenham Hotspur fan.
Yeah, and I want the best for my club, and relegation is
It's not the best for your club.
It is the best for my club because you're happy with us carrying on as we are. I'm not happy with it.
You know full well that I'm not happy with carrying on the way things are.
So why would you want to stay in the Premier League with Enoch?
It's not about staying in the Premier League with Enoch. We need to retain our survival. We need to, otherwise this club's going to be in total ruins. There's no situation where we go down and then Enoch go, you know what? Let's suddenly they're going to make all the right decisions.
What do you mean the club will be ruined? You don't own the club. I don't own the club. Enoch owns the club. They will be ruined, not us.
Us as a football club, we're fans of the football club.
Yeah, and the football club's owned by Enoch.
Correct.
I'm not a fan of Enoch.
No, you're not. You're not a fan of Enoch, but before Enoch, you're a Spurs fan, and after Enoch, you'll still be a Spurs fan, and during Enoch, you're a Spurs fan.
I didn't want relegation before Enoch, and I won't want relegation after Enoch. I want relegation because of Enoch.
Yeah, but there's no, go on.
I just think fans are too scared to go to the place that needs to be gotten at to actually force change, because the tragedy of our
there's no guarantee still, is there? There's no guarantee that we go down and suddenly Enoch start making all the right decisions.
They'll be forced to, Ben. They will
but they
be forced to.
They don't know what the right decisions are, so how can they make them?
They don't know because they've never been forced to. They've had it easy. Enoch have got the easiest gig in town. They've got a £1 billion stadium that generates wonderful income. They've got a loyal fan base that will clap when we lose 4-1. They'll back the team and sell out the stadium regardless of what. Merchandise sales are through the roof. We lose 4-1 to Arsenal and the South Stand is full of fans buying burgers, hot dogs, noodle, fish and chips, beers. The club shop's packed every time I go to the stadium. They've got it easy. They've got the easiest gig in town. It's the best. If you're going to own a football club, own Tottenham, because you can be absolutely dog shit and make millions of pounds. We're the only fan base like this.
But surely there's more validity to saying if we stay up, that's a quicker route to get Enoch out. Like, they might sell up at some point if we're still in the Premier League and we're at the value that we're at.
We've been saying that every single year, Ben. I got called a moron, an idiot, a cretin, dumb, thick with Brian Daigle because we started protesting 5 years ago. We joined the original protesters who started the movement 10 years ago. And we got called every name under the sun. We don't know what we're talking about. We're stupid. We're idiots. Now look, where's all those fans now? They're all fed up. It took them 5 years to get to where Brian and I was almost half a decade ago. And now we're in a position where we think as a fan base that if we stay in the Premier League, that's the best chance we've got under Enoch. That's exactly what Enoch want, Ben. I've come to the realization in the last 3 weeks that nothing is going to change because fans don't want to protest. They don't want to boycott. They don't want to demonstrate. They don't want to do anything. They just want to go to the game and hope they watch Tottenham get 3 points. They couldn't care less about anything else. They just want to go to a game of football and hope they get 3 points. They're not diehard like you two. They're not diehard like me. Very, very few fans in this club are diehard. The rest just like the idea of Spurs maybe getting 3 points on a match day. And that's the problem. That's the issue we've got right now. And whilst we've got a fan base like this, Enoch are laughing, guys. They're loving it. They're loving life. Only a catastrophic event like a relegation that causes financial distress, the only thing they understand, will force them to change their ways. It's the only thing that will make Enoch say, do you know what? We can't get away with it anymore. We literally can't get away with it anymore. Our $4 billion valuation is now $1.5 billion. The debts that we've got owing on the stadium, the debts we've got owing on player transfers that haven't been fully paid yet, shit. We're really going to have to think like we've never thought before. And the only way out of it is to either sell the club, which they won't do, or they're going to have to focus on brilliant scouting, brilliant recruitment, proper football directors, managers that they stick with and back, developing the academy players for the first team, and actually building a football foundation, because that's the only way they will rescue their business, their money. That's where I'm at, guys.
But I don't think they're going to be able to do it still, because I think if we go down, I think they're so clueless. They're going to take us down and down and down. I really don't think it's going to be a case of, all right, we go down, ENIC suddenly know what to do in this situation. They're going to put the right people in place. We're going to bounce back and suddenly we're on the right track again. I think it's going to go even further into ruins.
Do you know what? I can't help but feel Sim. I'm looking at his face, and I just, if I'm reading his mind correctly, it's, why the hell are we having this conversation?
Oh, God.
Why did you let him on again?
No, I love you, Stel. Come on.
Look, if we stay in the Premier League, nothing will change, guys. Honestly. Ever since they built that stadium, they've built a machine that they can't control. They've lost control of this Goliath they've built. They've built a sensational business. They've built an animal of a football club, and they don't know how to run it. They don't. But what I do know is, when financial distress is upon them, they will find a way. I'll give you a great example. The stadium became more expensive than what they thought. There was a massive cost overrun by about a couple of 100 million.
Yeah, I think it was like 200-300 million, yeah.
Look how quickly they solved that problem, because the financial implications of not completing the stadium and having a 3/4 built stadium would be devastating. So they found the solution, because financially it would have hurt them. Only financial pain will force change at our football club. I wish our fans could force the pain by nobody renewing season tickets. I'm not renewing my season ticket this year, guys. I've decided I'm not renewing my season ticket.
But still, even
it helps your moving country.
Yeah, but still, even us being in this position now.
No, but I'm back and forth, Sim. I'm back and forth. I haven't left. Not going to any more games. I just refuse to give them any more money. I've never ever felt this way, to the point of where I thought, right, do you know what? I'm just not going to do it now. I'm done with it. I don't want them to have a penny.
But still, even now, even if we don't go down, there's still talk of sponsors pulling out and different things. There's no European money coming in as well. So financially, we got away with it last year because we won the Europa League. But this year, there's going to be no getting away with it, even if we stay up. So, like relegation, even relegation or not, they're going to have to wake up, aren't they? Because if we stay up, they're still going to be hurt financially.
Listen to what you just said. They got away with it last year. And look what their response was.
Yeah, because they weren't hurt financially. My point is, even if we stay up this season, they will be hurt financially, is my point.
No, they won't.
Yeah, they will. Fine. Because there's rumours of sponsors already pulling out and no European money as well.
Ben, we've
you got us mixed up, Stel. You got us mixed up.
Sorry.
And you
Sim,
called
sorry,
Ben. And you called Ben Sim literally a second ago as well. But
Stel, how long have you known us for, man?
Do you know what? I'm just going to.
Ben is the one with no hair.
I'm just going to call you the brothers. Right, brothers. We've had seasons without Europe before, and they've dealt with it. It's not a massive blow. It's not a colossal blow. We've had seasons where we didn't have all the sponsors that we've now got, and we were fine then. Yes, if we lose sponsors, but we'll find new sponsors. Maybe not as lucrative, but we'll find new sponsors. If we don't get European football, then you know what? We'll probably finish in Europe next season, because we'll only play one game a week. So for me, it's not the kind of damage that's going to really significantly hurt them. You're going to get years where cash flow is up, cash flow's down, profit is up, profit is down. You're not going to get a consistent, steady, predetermined level of income. You're going to get ups and downs. But relegation, it's not your average up and down. It's seismic. It will hurt them. It will instigate crisis, emergency boardroom level meetings. The bankers are great.
You don't think they've had those already? You don't think they've got having those already?
I think they've had conversations to say, do you know what, guys? Relegation won't be too good. Let's sack Frank. Let's bring in a manager that avoids it. I think they've had that meeting. I don't think they've had a meeting, though, where they've actually been relegated. I don't think they think we're going to get relegated.
They have to now, surely on the back of the last 2 games.
Not at all. Listen, the only time they think we will get relegated is if we drop into the bottom 3. Then it's real. Then shit is real because you're now in the relegation zone. We're not in the relegation zone. We're very close to it.
I think that's why they've stepped in.
Major warning signs.
But I think that's why they stepped in over the heads of Vinay and Lange, because they think relegation is a serious possibility.
Right, so look how they reacted at the thought of a financial hit. Imagine what they would do if they actually got that financial hit. They would have to change the foundations of Tottenham. They would have to start taking the academy seriously. They'd have to start taking hiring managers seriously and not sacking them all the time. They'd have to take football directorship seriously, recruitment seriously, scouting seriously, not spending 65 million on Richarlisons and Solankis and Ndombeles. That shit will stop. They'll have to start finding Dele Allis, Christian Eriksen.
We're going to start signing Jamie Vardy's and David Nugent's and all these guys because we're going to be in the Championship.
And then they'll get relegated then again. So
you know what I mean?
That's the point.
That's what I'm trying to say.
That's the point.
No, they'll be forced to not take those approaches. They'll be forced to really sit down and actually draw up a proper football plan that includes hiring correct football people. We've never had a plan, guys. We chop and change football directors, academy directors, coaches, assistant managers, head managers. The reason we keep changing is because there's no plan. If there was a genuine plan, they would have stuck with Frank. They would have ridden
do you not think, Stel, it's more realistic that if we get relegated, they're going to say, "Oh yeah, we're going to put this whole football plan in place, blah 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 blah," and they get it completely wrong. Completely wrong.
I think that's more likely, Stel. I think they do have a plan. It's just shit. They don't know what they're doing, and I don't trust them to have a good plan once we go down. I don't think they want to be in the situation we're in. I think they tried to put things in place for the betterment of the footballing side. I just don't think they know how. They don't know how to do that. They don't understand football. They don't understand the landscape. Like all these things. I don't think that changes just because we get relegated.
No, I agree. They've built a machine that they can't control anymore. I totally agree. But the issue is, when people are suddenly dealt with a blow, they have to react. They have to learn. They'll be forced to learn, guys. They'll be forced to appoint someone and just say, do you know what? We have to listen to that person. We have to do what they say. Otherwise, we will continue to hemorrhage money. We'll continue to cripple our own finances. My finances won't be impacted. The cost of when I go to the supermarket and buy bread, milk and cheese won't be impacted by Tottenham being relegated. My life doesn't change because Tottenham get relegated, but Enix will. And when you're a human being and you're in that situation, you have to find a way out.
My life will change. My life will definitely change if Tottenham get relegated. I can't watch my team in the Championship.
But you'll go. I'll go
for sure. I'll definitely go and support them. But my life will still change. My life will still change. Like, I cannot be sitting here and watching Champions League football, Wrexham away. And, Wrexham will probably get promoted and we'll get relegated. Wrexham will be
listen, with all due respect to you and every other Spurs fan, and to me as well, I'm no different. We go and watch our team get blammed against Fulham, pammed against Brentford, smashed against Fulham home and away, taken to pieces at Nottingham Forest away. We can't beat West Ham at home. We watch what you've just described every single week. What's the difference between watching West Ham beat us 2-1, who are in the relegation zone, versus going away to Wrexham? What's the difference? It's shit.
Yeah,
it's
on that sense, yeah, fine. There is not much difference, but people's livelihoods are going to Spurs and following this team, and to get relegated, something that hasn't happened since the 70s, it will break so many people. It will break so many people's hearts to see what has happened to Spurs, even more so to what's happening right now.
Their hearts should be broken already.
Yeah, and if we get broke down, it will get absolutely shattered.
And that's their fault for not taking action when it mattered. Just like you guys said earlier on, to not have sacked Frank earlier was criminal. I would say the same to our fan base. It's criminal that our fans haven't acted earlier. And even now, they're still not taking action. Even now. So I don't feel sorry for any fan that watches Tottenham get relegated unless you're a fan who actually protested or boycotted or demonstrated. If you're a fan who actually took action, I feel sorry for you because you tried. You really tried. I don't feel sorry for the other 99.9% of fans who have chosen to do absolutely nothing but hide in the comments, hide on X, troll channels and all that nonsense. You know, I can't feel sorry for fans because they've enabled it. Our fan base has allowed this to happen. We should have taken action 2 years ago when they sacked Conte. After that Conte speech, every fan should have said, we need to rise up against ENIC. But we allowed it to manifest, and now look, now we're on the brink. We're actually on the brink of relegation.
But do you concede if we do go down and we don't get it right, that could be us like in serious trouble as a football club in terms of big debts? All of a sudden, you know, you could be talking about points deductions, and maybe it'll be tougher to get out of that league, and that's what going down could cause. And so, are you prepared to run that risk if we go down? You know what I mean? I understand you don't have control, but I'm saying if you want it to happen, you're kind of prepared to run the risk of maybe spending more than a few years in that division, maybe lower.
I'm happy to go down for 5 years if that's what it takes for ENIC to either leave or for ENIC to wake up and start being a proper football focused football club. Because I'm not going to do another 5 years of this. The last 5 years have been an absolute disgrace. £900 million wasted on average football players. I've paid over £5,000 in season ticket money. For what? For what have I paid? I'm not allowing that to continue, Sim. So if we got to go down for as long as it takes until ENIC either leave or ENIC fix up, so be it. And by the way, the amount of debt we owe, ENIC are the guarantors. They are the guarantors of that debt. They don't just walk away from that debt. And if they don't pay that debt, let me tell you what happens to them. They're blacklisted. They get CCJs on their head. No one's going to lend them money for any future business ventures. The whole Lewis family is wrecked, ruined. So they know that they're going to have to deal with it and respond accordingly if that happens. They're not stupid people. And this is what I'm saying, guys. This is the only pain they will understand. This is the only kind of method that I think is left. In an ideal world, I'd love us to stay in the Premier League and ENIC change their ways. I'd love them to bring in Ralph Ragniak as the football director and to keep him in place for the next 7 years, to bring in a Jurgen Klopp and back him, and to start signing players that we think, oh, that's exciting, that's interesting, to start seeing Mikey Moore play for the first team and Vuskovic play for the first team, and the exciting young talent we've got embedded into a long-term process. I would love for that to happen. It's not going to happen, guys. I'm past believing it's going to happen. It's wishful thinking, and it's what ENIC depend on. ENIC depend on us fans thinking that way, which is why, you know, if they bring back Poch, it's lazy. It's simply because they know us fans will lap it up and will get sucked in by it. And they won't back Poch. Poch won't get backed. He'll get some players. He won't get the backing he needs, though, because they haven't got it in them to do it. They're not interested, guys. They don't care about football. It's all lip service. You know, everything ENIC and Lange said to us got completely smashed out of the park when ENIC overruled them and trampled all over them. So that just goes to show there is no football integrity in our football club. We're an entertainment business. We're not a football club.
If we do stay up, would you want us to get relegated next season?
If ENIC are in charge of the football club, yes. I'm not backing anything ENIC do any longer. Anything they say in the summer, I won't believe it. Any nonsense that they come up with, like, oh, we're going to change Lange, or we've appointed an internal sports psychological mindset specialist to teach our players how to deal with emotionally challenging situations. I'm not buying into any of this crap.
So does that mean you don't want us to win the Champions League then this season?
100% I want us to win the Champions League.
But winning the
100%.
Champions League will give them all that money.
Yeah, but it gives me the one thing I want more than anything as a fan, which is trophies. I prioritise trophies above everything else. If you said to me, Ben, relegation or trophy, I'll pick trophy. I'll pick trophy over any other option. But if the option is stay in the Premier League with ENIC and no trophy, or relegation, I want relegation, because it's... By the way, If we win the Champions League, then ENIC have been successful. If we win the Champions League, all of us will have to say, hats off to ENIC for sacking Frank and bringing in Tudor, because if ENIC never did that, we would never have won the Champions League. I would praise them. I gave them praise for not sacking Ange after Ange won the Europa Cup. I said, you know what? Fair play to you. We won that Europa Cup because you didn't sack him. So I would praise them, but we're not winning the Champions League, guys. I just, we're not.
You said the same thing this time last year of the Europa League.
You're right. I did say that last year. You're spot on. I can't pretend I didn't, but we would have to beat Atletico Madrid, Barcelona, Arsenal, and then probably Bayern.
Yeah.
We can't beat Nottingham Forest and West Ham, lads.
But we can beat Dortmund and Frankfurt.
Yeah, with all due respect, Dortmund got battered by Galatasaray.
Yeah.
No, not Galatasaray, Atalanta. They got beat by Atalanta. Yeah. So, in a dream world, yeah, man, give me the Champions League. If we won the Champions League, I would become ENIC in. I would be ENIC in because they would have done something no ownership has ever done in our entire history. No ownership has ever won the biggest European trophy. We've never won it. So I'd say keep them because they've done something I've never seen before. No fan's seen it, but they're not going to do it, guys. They're not. If a miracle happens and we get past Atleti, I think Barcelona are going to tear us to absolute shred. Yamal against Dragusin. Lord of mercy. Lord of mercy, people. You know.
I do understand. I completely understand what you're saying, but I just cannot get behind a relegation, man. I just cannot do it. No matter what you say, it's never going to change my mind. There is no chance I can sit here advocating for Spurs to get relegated. I really can't.
99.99999999 fans are 100% on your side. They're all on your side. I've got. The only person that's 100% committed to my cause is Kuva. Big up Kuva. He messaged me today and said, "Stel, I'm with you, buddy. The thing needs to crash and burn for it to change." And I said, "Mate, that's where I'm at."
Stel, we got a super chat
and
here.
I get why fans don't want it. But fans are deluded. Our fan base is deluded. They think ENIC are going to change. They're not.
Stel,
they're not because the money's too good.
We've got a super chat for you. It says from Stancliffe. It says, "Sorry, Stel, but this is batshit insane, delusional opinion. You want us to get relegated? It will crumble the club, and we'd never recover. We'd never recover," he says.
He's the same type of fan that said the same shit to me 5 years ago when I said ENIC out, Levy out, and fans like him said to me, "Be careful what you wish for." Okay, well look what you've got now. This is what you wished for, not me. I never wished for this situation. So I'm used to this kind of criticism. I'm used to fans like this just, "I don't want to hear this. Don't say that, Stelios." Mate, I warned you 5 years ago. I warned Brian Daigle has been given so much abuse for being ENIC and Levy out. We warned everyone about this 5 years ago, and I'm warning you now. If this carries on under ENIC, which it will do, we will get relegated eventually anyway. You won't have to worry about me saying, "Let's get relegated." They will relegate us. It's going to happen eventually. So, look, nothing personal to the person that put in a super chat. He's a fan, he's allowed his opinion, and like I said, most fans are going to agree with him, but I'm sorry. This is the problem. ENIC live off of fans living in hope that ENIC will one day do something spectacular. That is ENIC's number one lever that they pull on. They pull on that lever and they know fans are going to buy it because they've got 25 years of data to prove that fans will always back ENIC. You know, the amount of managers that we've sacked, how's the fan base not turned on this ownership?
Yeah.
The amount of crap players we've signed, how's the fan base not turned against ENIC? You know, what will it take, guys? What is it going to take for our fan base to say enough's enough? I don't think the fan base will, which is why I'm saying relegate the club because our fans aren't going to do it. Our fans aren't going to stand up to ENIC. So we need to hurt the owners financially for them to force a change in their behaviour. But fans don't want to get relegated. That's the thing. Fans want the best of both worlds. They want us to stay in the Premier League and for ENIC to change. I'm sorry, they don't go hand in hand. Those two things do not go hand in hand. Something has to give.
Amir has sent in a super chat saying, "Guys, relegation is the worst case scenario. We need to fight for every single point and do our best to stay up. This is the time to stick together.
What for? Why does Amir want to stay up? So you can watch this shit every year? Like, aren't you sick of doing a show every week, moaning, complaining, being frustrated? You know, I watched Ben.
It won't change in the Championship.
They will be forced to change because they won't be able to keep sacking managers.
They'll be forced to change. They're not going to be. You don't know if they're going to get it right. Still, there's no evidence to suggest they're going to get it right.
There's evidence to suggest that when rich people have their pockets picked, they respond, and this ownership has responded. With the stadium build, they were going to lose billions.
That's completely different. You're talking about trying to balance the books and in the finance sheets and off the pitch.
Why did they
stuff.
sack Frank?
We're talking about on the pitch.
Why did they sack Frank?
That's all they know what to do is sack managers. They're doing it time and time again.
Yeah, but why did they sack Frank? Because we were in relegation. The reason Ange never got sacked is because relegation was never really a threat. It was just fans like me and you and others getting, maybe not so much you guys, getting over-emotional. We were never in danger of relegation last year. We finished 16 points above relegation. That's why they didn't sack him, because financially they were okay. And they saw an opportunity that if they win the Europa Cup, they get in the Champions League. Ooh, money. Yeah. That's why we'll make the decision to keep Ange, because we can see a financial reward at the end of the pathway. The reason they sacked Frank is there was no financial reward. There was no financial gain. That's why they got rid of him. Whereas with Tudor, they see a financial gain. If he keeps him in the Premier League, great, we get our money. Every decision they make is around money. So the only way they will change is if you take the one thing they're motivated by. Money. Only relegation will do that, because our fans aren't prepared to do it.
They're calling it Steligation in the chat.
Steligation.
Steligation.
The Scientology cult of Steligation. I'm all in. Let's go. Let's go. Look, guys, look.
So depressing still, man.
Look, I get the emotion around this subject. It's a lunatic thing to come out and say, right? I'm not oblivious to what I'm saying. What I am trying to explain, though, is there is no other mechanism to force change at our club. There is no other way we will get out of this vicious cycle. They're not going to sell the club because they would have done it by now. They're not interested. The only way they will sell is if it's forced, and our fans don't want to do it. Our fans aren't interested in forcing anything. So the only way we break the cycle is a seismic event. I mean, let me ask you guys, how else are we going to get change then, guys? How else does it happen? If it's not relegation, how does it happen?
I don't know. I don't know how change happens, but I just know going down to the Championship is the worst thing for everyone. Because I just don't back them to make the right calls when we're in the Championship, and I feel it's going to get worse and worse and worse. I really believe that.
I think if we go down, they will look at the money that they won't be able to spend on players. They'll be looking at every single transfer and scrutinising it with a fine pen to make sure it's not a bad transfer, because they can't afford to make bad transfers anymore. They'll really have to think about. That's what they said they did with the
manager hiring of Frank.
That was absolute bollocks that they fed us. Mate, I didn't believe a word of what he said. We went through a 15-point process. Mate, I didn't believe any of that.
Narrowed it down from 100 managers and landed on Thomas Frank.
Mate, they went on ChatGPT and said, what do we do? And they said, hire Frank. That's what happened. And they just said, oh, yeah, we looked at the data. And they will have to embrace the academy. They will have to create a 3-year project that involves developing the academy. They will have to bring in a manager that no one's really... Look, imagine they brought in the Bodo Glimt manager who's pulling up trees
They'll
right
bring
now.
in Robbie Keane if we get relegated, I guarantee you.
And let's say Robbie Keane's the guy to bring us back up, but he brings us up with a proper football project. And that foundation is something we can actually build on. For the first time, something we can build on. Because they're not going to build it in the Premier League because they're too comfortable. The Premier League is the most comfortable spot for ENIC because they get all the sponsors, they get their season ticket money, the merchandise is flying through the tills are cha-chinging every single day because we're a Premier League club, we're a global brand, everyone wants a bit of the pie. Let's get our Tottenham shirts. The food and beverage is selling nicely because the stadium's packed. The Premier League, it's a nice place for them. It's a very sweet spot. The relegation, different ball game. They've really, really got to think now. They've really got to ask themselves, shit, we need to learn about football. Yeah, you do. You're a football club. But whilst we're an entertainment media company more than football, they're not going to focus on the football to the level it's needed, guys. I'm telling you now, next season is not going to be better than this. It won't be better than this.
They're going to be as idiotic as to what got us in this mess and being like, we're Tottenham Hotspur, we're never going to go down. We're Tottenham Hotspur, we'll bounce right back up. We're Tottenham Hotspur, of course we'll bounce right back up. That's what they'll be saying.
I don't think they will. I think this is the kind of knockout blow that really forces the change. People thought by Daniel Levy stepping down as chairman, that was the moment. And they were fooled. They were fooled by Aguna, chairman Vinay, Lange staying in his position, who has been shocking. Charrington, oh yeah, what a wonderful job he's doing. He was meant to be the troubleshooter that Joe Lewis sends in to solve the financial problems. Then you've got Joe Lewis's kids, who aren't kids. They're closer to collecting their pension than what they are having graduated from high school. And everyone thought this is the new era. It's worse than you've ever seen it. So for me, the only kind of seismic change at boardroom level, footballing level, is a relegation. It will force the change that's needed. We should have had it this year, and we didn't get it. Some fans are hoping that this is the shock. Being so close to relegation, it shocks them. I don't think it will be. I don't think it will be, guys. I think they're going to carry on as normal. Maybe some slightly better signings. But you know our best players are leaving in the summer. So we're going to be in trouble again next year.
He says we should have had it last year, but we didn't get it, as if it's something that we should have wanted. He's so close to it last year. Should have had it last year.
It's true.
Oh, man.
The chances are, guys, we're not going to go down. I
don't know about that, Stel. I'm not sure about that. I think you might get your way.
Look, if I get my way, you won't see any complaints from me. You won't see any... I'll be sad that it's taken relegation to fix Tottenham Hotspur. Because it should never take that. It should never take, a death for people to start thinking about their health. And that's what it will feel like. It will feel like we've died. Oh, we better start thinking about the food we eat, and we better start going to the gym. That's what's going to happen. It shouldn't take that. So that will make me sad. But deep down, I know long term, it'll be the best thing that's happened to our football club under ENIC. It will be the best thing that ever happened to Tottenham under ENIC. But
unless it isn't,
I think most fans just can't swallow that. They can't swallow the thought.
But it could not be. It could also be the downfall of this great football club.
Could be the worst thing to ever happen to this football club.
That's the risk. What you're risking, I would say.
I think when you look at big clubs who have gone down, like Nottingham Forest, Villa, Newcastle, they went down in a different way to us. We, without trying to be arrogant here, we're bigger than them in terms of our global clout, our access to income, the boxing, the NFL, the rugby. We've got access to income streams those clubs didn't. Mm-hmm. And from what I've read today, I don't know whether it's true or not, it's just something I read. It's in the contract of the players that they all have to take a 50% wage cut if we go down. It's put into their contracts.
Yeah.
Right. Those other clubs didn't have those clauses. So we are more protected.
We've been preparing for this.
From an income perspective, from being, completely wrecked and going down and down and down. We will be in a more stable situation than what a lot of fans, I think, are making out. I think a lot of fans are being a bit over-dramatic and being drama queens and thinking, this is the end. We're going to go bankrupt. Tottenham will never exist. I don't buy that for 1 second.
But still, our outgoings are majorly more excessive than those clubs. Like the top six now, the outgoings that the top six have are majorly more excessive than Newcastle and Villa were never in the top six in terms of the Premier League top six. But when the Premier League had its financial power and those clubs had its financial power, Tottenham are way ahead of the game in that sense. So it would be dramatic loss of revenue for Spurs.
Yeah, but our income streams are far greater than all of those.
The income streams will go. We've got a lot of big sponsors that contracts are up very, very soon.
Yeah, but 50% of our income comes from stadium revenue.
Stadium revenue will drop as well.
What, boxing matches will stop at Tottenham? I don't think so.
Not the
NFL
boxing
will stop at
matches.
Tottenham.
The match day revenue is going to be massively hit.
Yeah, no, but that's the other 50%. That's the football stuff. The non-footballing stadium revenue is very strong. We're actually
non-match day revenue is 55 million.
No, it's more than that.
It's not.
It's more than that. No, it's not. I looked at it. It was around about 100 mil when I last looked at it. It was around about 100 mil when you factor in all the income that comes with it, not just the hiring of the stadium and food and beverage. There was other income streams associated to it. But regardless, that's 50 million that the other clubs didn't have. So, look, we will be in some kind of financial distress. I'm not arguing that. But I think we're in a better position to manage it than some of those other clubs. And by the way, if we sell Mickey van der Ven for 80 million, that services our debt for 3 years. So the debt we owe in the payments, that's covered for 3 years if you just sell Mickey van der Ven for 80 million. So we aren't in such a dire situation that everyone thinks we'll be. My point is, we need some financial distress. We need some pain for ENIC to
Have we
pull
not
their
had
finger
enough
out.
pain?
You have, I have, your brother has, ENIC haven't. ENIC haven't had any pain. The only pain they've had is when 2,000 fans protest on the high street and said, we want ENIC out, we want Levy out, and ENIC decided, right, let's get rid of Levy. So Levy took the brunt of that protest, when really it was ENIC and Levy that we were protesting about. On the scarves we wore, it said ENIC out, and on the back of the scarf it said Levy out. So Levy took the brunt of that protest, but then the protests have stopped. Fans gave up after that. They thought, yay, we've got Vinay, we've got Charrington, we've got Lange. Job done. No, job's not done. Job's far from done. So nothing's going to change, guys. I'm telling you, nothing will change under this ownership as long as they're comfortable in the Premier League, and they will forever remain comfortable with our fan base, because our fan base is not prepared to do what it takes. They're not. Arsenal fans are, United fans are, Newcastle fans are. Our fans aren't. We're comfortable. We are just as comfortable as ENIC. We are very comfortable as a fan base. So ENIC will get away with it. Only relegation will force the issue.
But this talk just seems a bit like Four Lions-y, like bomb the mosque, radicalise the moderates. That's what it feels like. Just like something extreme, which is maybe self-defeating.
Yeah, but when I said to you guys, how else do we do it? Both of you said, I don't know. I'm putting forward a solution. I haven't heard anyone else come forward with a solution.
Bro thinks he's Guy Fawkes. What about another super chat?
The guy that said bro thinks he's Guy Fawkes, what's his solution? Notice how he hasn't got a solution. He just wants to attack my solution. Attack my solution. I can take the rebuttal. But what is your solution? You don't have one. This is the issue you've got, guys.
But if I say
I'm actually coming forward with a solution.
If I say if we stay up, we sack Vinay and Lange and point the right people in place for better processes, right? What would you say to that?
ENIC aren't going to do that.
Why?
ENIC aren't going to do that.
Do you not think? Wait, Stel. Do you not think that ENIC? Do you think ENIC want to be in this position that we're in now?
If ENIC was serious, they would have sacked Lange before they sacked Frank. If they were serious. If they were serious, Lange would have gone before Frank.
Right, but do you not think when they hire? Do you not think when they hire these people, they go through interview processes and they try and find the best candidate for the job? I'm not sitting here saying they're the right decisions. I'm just saying, do you not think they want to put good people in place? Do you think they're trying to put incompetent people in place? They're not trying to do that.
I think they hire yes people that are going to follow the ENIC protocol, the ENIC method, the ENIC operators.
Work within their parameters. That's what they're trying to hire.
Yeah, and their parameters suck. Their parameters are the reason we fail.
And you think those parameters will change if down in the
Those
Championship?
parameters will get smaller and smaller as we get lower and lower.
No, those parameters will have to be football focused. Otherwise, they won't ever see Premier League income again. They'll never see European football income again. They'll never see the value of their business go back up to where it was at a price where they could have maybe sold at a fee that they would have accepted. If they want to get back to that business valuation and those levels of income streams, they're going to have to focus on football. They're not going to have a choice. They're going to have to change their parameters. They're going to have to say, we need to develop 2 academy kids per year. We're going to have to stick with a manager for 3 years because we can't afford to keep sacking him, which means we're really going to have to think about who we hire. We're going to have to really scrutinise our transfers because we can't afford to waste £50 million on signings that are shit.
We won't have
They're
50
gonna
million
have
to
to
spend on
properly-
anyone.
Then they need to start finding Dele Alli's for 5 million, Christian Eriksen's for 10 million. They're going to have to really start thinking about football things, Ben and Sim. Because right now, they don't really need to think about it too much. Because they can get away with blowing 60 million on a player. They can get away with hiring and firing a manager every year. They can get away with all of this. They won't be able to get away with it if we go down. They simply won't get away with it anymore.
Well, I guess we'll just have to wait and see how it all plays out still, won't we? Fucking hell. Jesus.
Listen,
I cannot go down, man.
If anything, guys, I've started off a very interesting debate, an interesting conversation that is going to snowball. Mark my words, more people are going to jump on this, and this is going to become a very lively debate each game that we continue to lose. If we win a couple of games and we stay up, this debate ends. No one's going to give a shit because we're staying up and relegation isn't even the conversation. But if we don't pick up points...
Until the first game of next season starts and you're going to be on every channel being like, I want us to get relegated.
When Vinay's still the chairman and Lange is still in control of the recruitment, I will be on every channel saying, I told you so. You didn't want to listen. Now you've got a deal with Archie Gray's brother who's just been signed for 55 million.
Matt Law has just done an article talking that Spurs have stepped up their hunt for a new sporting director, and checks believed to have been made on a number of potential candidates, including the co-sporting director at Chelsea, Paul Winstanley, and ex-Palace sporting director Dougie Freeman.
So they're already putting the people in place still.
Guys, I don't believe a word these journalists say. These are the same journalists that predicted every single manager under the sun was coming to Tottenham. None of them said Igor Tudor was coming. Not a single one predicted Igor Tudor. Let's have it right. We were linked to Lookman, Semenyo, every top winger in the world in January. Who do we get? Conor Gallagher and Sousa. Guys, I'm done listening to them as well.
To be fair, we did hear Igor Tudor about 3 months ago.
I'll see it when I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. If in the summer they bring in a top chairman, a top football director, and the transfer window is full of exciting talent, and Mikey Moore comes back from loan and he actually gets to play for Tottenham, and these things happen, then maybe I can say, hold on a minute. Perhaps the fear of relegation did shake them up. But if that doesn't happen, and it's a repeat of this, then I was right. Relegation was the only way forward.
All right, Stel, always a pleasure to speak to you, even though I cannot get behind that view of wanting to get relegated. But am I seeing you on Thursday night? You at the game?
I'm not going to another game. I'm done.
You're done?
I'm
Are you still in the country?
No, he's in Cyprus. Are you in Cyprus?
Oh, you're in Cyprus now?
I'm in Cyprus at the moment, yeah. I'll be back and forth, but until Enoch are gone, man, I'm done with them. I'll do football content and give my opinions, but I can't, man. It is so miserable being around this club right now with what they've done to it. I despise them with a passion, guys. I resent Enoch with so much for what they've done to Tottenham and the way they've brainwashed our fan base. So, but anyway, you guys do a great job. Everyone gets to have their voice and say. Everyone's allowed to come on, and at least you're doing a good job. At least someone's doing a good job. Somewhere.
You want to call in saying I want relegation? You're more than welcome.
Big up, Stel. Speak to you in a bit.
All right, lads. Have a good one. Take care.
Cheers, mate. Bye.